Okay, y'all. I'm in my own house. I'm not at the no trespassing clapper slapper house. And I'm not really depressed. I just have been so tired lately. And I just stuffed myself with loads of vegetables, so take that how you will. But anyways, I probably have lung cancer, and that's not even trying to be funny. Like, I genuinely can't breathe. But I've been wanting to do this kind of a video for a while. And it may not be that exciting because I'm not necessarily showing the digital images of the pictures that I'm talking about, but I still want to just talk about this anyways. Sorry, I'm just like half cooked right now. Like I'm cooked, but like I'm not cooked, so I need to get cooked. That's not what this video is about, I'm just saying. Today I actually want to talk about my my five top favorite clown props from Spirit since like the release of like Towering Clown and the like more modern ones, I guess, that have released throughout the years. Because I think he will forever be my like just favorite clown, and I think Poor George comes in at a pretty close second. So let's start with him. This isn't necessarily sequential in the years that they released. They're just the clowns that I think stand out and make a good scary clown prop. And again, what I'm looking for in these clown props is scary. Like, not the goofy, silly, just nonsense ones. Like, the genuine ones that kind of freak people out and are just like, they work as a clown, but they're also just demented, you know? So, Poor George is one. Poor George was one that was so awesome because you really only saw him at the last part of the teaser when he first released. Um, and y'all just, yeah. Poor George was a pretty accurate description of just that year in general for me, 2023. Like, my body felt torn, quite literally, and just, I was constantly swinging between just feeling so overjoyed and just miserable, so I felt like I could relate to Poor George a lot, so that's why I really like him. He is the first one I will be mentioning on this list. The next one is Nibbles. Now, before I didn't really actually care about Nibbles, you know? And there's going to be a lot of clowns that really just don't make it on this list. So, these ones I think are pretty cool still. Nibbles came out in 2024, and I almost regret not buying him in 2024. Because in 2024, I was just dealing with just more than I could really shoulder at that time. But he came out during the Carnival and he was pretty expensive, and I wasn't trying to drop necessarily too much money on one prop because I was having to buy food and kind of just live for myself, and I was buying a lot of weed, and just it was crazy, right? But Nibbles was actually one that grew on me significantly after just like I just got to thinking like, dang, he's probably got that laced lollipop that he's holding. He's got that camera. Like, if people aren't expecting him to just follow you with his face, and I mean, some people may not catch on to what he's actually doing, so it may not be that shocking to some people, but I actually thought the concept for that was really cool. The character necessarily wasn't necessarily too unique, but I did like that they kind of tried to go for something a little different than just the regular SBI clown mold and all that. So Nibbles was a nice one. So far we've got Poor George and Nibbles. And I'm not making this, I didn't write this down as a list. I am kind of just making this up, but I genuinely do really like these clown props better than most of the ones that just get released. I think number 3 is going to go to Waving Wally, you guys. Waving Wally was one that was just so drilled into my head for some reason. Like, I don't know, like, just. He was a very simple concept, a waving clown. He had these very dark, blacked out eyes. He just stood there smiling and waving. It was very overpriced for that kind of a concept for a prop. And yeah, but I still think Waving Wally was a genuinely pretty terrifying prop. Like, you can't deny that. I mean, maybe some people didn't think so, but I think that was actually pretty terrifying. And believe it or not, I think number 4 is going to go to the re release of Uncle Charlie. Y'all, I think the re release of Uncle Charlie really divided the Uncle Charlie fans. I guess there's always going to be the people who just will cling on to the original no matter what. And for me, I didn't really care about that character at all. I mean, he was a very old seasonal visions clown, not as well known as some of the other ones. And for me, I don't know. I don't know, just kind of that early seasonal visions, like animation and just style, wasn't necessarily what I was too into. I mean, I don't know, but the re release of Uncle Charlie was almost a new character. It was a reimagining, I guess. I don't know. Some people thought they completely botched him. Some people really liked it. I don't know. For me, though, I think back and I have some fond memories of seeing Uncle Charlie in stores during COVID, even though it wasn't the original. I have some genuine fond memories. I don't own the prop, but for me, I actually do have some genuinely fond memories of that Uncle Charlie prop. So I gotta give him some credit for that. So to recap, we've got Poor George Nibbles, Waving Wally, and Uncle Charlie. So you're pretty standard, just average clowns, I would say. And the last one I would have to say would go to Henry Hustle, you guys. Henry Hustle was another one that I really liked seeing. He got kind of faulty, and the jump scare didn't do quite as much when the head didn't pop up. It only popped up like half the way and all that. But I like the concept of him, so you can kind of see where just kind of these average, normal looking clowns for the most part. And then they've just got something just really creepy about them going on, right? Like, Poor George is kind of the exception in this list, but like, you kind of see where my taste of clowns comes from. And then as far as like, that's pretty much the list for my top 5 favorite that have released since after Towering Clown, so. And I guess I will do a few honorable mentions. They didn't really make the list, but some of these ones are like, yeah, I like them, but I don't know if I like them enough to really like be like, yeah, I like that as a scary clown prop for Halloween. Like, these are more of a you made your best effort and maybe it came out a little weird, but bullseye. You know, I wanted to get him, but my freaking wallet doesn't. Like, oh my gosh, I cannot pay that much for a clown that spins his head with a piece of cardboard around him. Like, I just can't. I don't even remember if the target around him is actually cardboard. I've seen him in stores last year. He's actually kind of huge, but I still can't be like, yeah, that's a 250 animatronic, bro. Like, just no. And I'm not gonna make 3. I'm just gonna do 2 for now because I'm really tired and I don't want to just be rambling about stupid stuff. But Crouchy, actually, Crouchy. A lot of people really love Crouchy, obviously, but for me, I like him too, and he's great and all. But I don't know. He's just almost a little less than Towering Clown for me. Like, he's just. Yeah, I see why he's scary. I see why people like him, but I don't know. Like, he literally just laughs and kind of goes side to side. Like, I don't know. Like, he doesn't have that much character as Towering Clown. He's kind of more of just a big scary blob rather than like a scary clown character. I don't know. It's just supposed to be a big, huge monster rather than an actual clown. I don't know, y'all, but that's my 2 honorable mentions would be Bullseye and Crouchy. But besides that, I don't know, y'all. I think if I was to go out and actually seek any more clown props to buy on eBay, I think the ones that I mentioned besides my honorable mentions would be the ones. I really do. You know, everybody loves their whack-a-mole and just all this other stuff. And I mean, yeah, it's great, but I've kind of gotten a little choosy with what I like in clowns. I'm not necessarily into the super over hyperactive, I just drank a freaking Monster Energy crazy clowns. And I'm not necessarily into just the look at me, I do like one thing clowns. I like the clowns that are just like they're creepy. People don't want to get near them. You know, just stuff that genuinely creep people out, or it's just a cool concept for a clown to be. You know, some of these just look so just dumb. So thank you for watching my super boring video. I'm gonna continue to cook myself, and we're gonna have a good day.